Thirsty, you there?
Cam, yes. How you doing, buddy? Welcome into Oregon Trail eSTOL today.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited.
Yeah, it looks
We
like
got that
it's
good.
going to be a beautiful day coming from Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're on the camera with the helicopter going around the airfield today. It looks beautiful. The fog has rolled in a little bit. It looks like. We know what the winds are looking like today, Cam.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up on ForeFlight here in a second for sure. But it looks like it does look a little hazy out there right
Looks
now
like
as
the
we're
oracle
getting.
in the sky has told us the winds are calm today.
Okay, okay, there we go. Yeah, we can see 0 knots. Uh, yeah, altimeter is at 3014. Temperature is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and humidity is 89%. So you can see the forecast right now is saying that it's misty. So I imagine, um, as we can see, it does look a little hazy out there. It's perfect
So Cam, how's
conditions
that going to
for.
affect the competitors today? What are they gonna experience in their planes when they're having this weather? Because as we know, in the flight simulator, the weather does affect how these guys are going to fly, even though it's virtual. They're going to feel the effects of the weather. How are they going to feel flying in this kind of weather, Cam? Do you know?
It, it should be pretty good performance. I mean, airplanes like colder weather. They're going to perform a lot better in the colder weather. So we should see some pretty good performance today.
Great, that's good. I'd like to see it. I want to hear the planes flying very soon. I want to hear them going. I want to hear what do we got going first today? What is it? Touring class coming up first.
Yeah, let's check that out real
I think
quick.
we have five competitors today in the touring class, and I wonder who's going to be. I wonder who's going to be competing in the touring class today. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
So Cam, if you don't know what eSTOL is, I know you do, but let's say somewhere out there in the viewers might not know what is eSTOL. If this is your first time coming in today, well, that's okay. We're going to help you guys figure out what is eSTOL. We're going to throw you guys to a short little video explaining to you exactly what is eSTOL and STOL, and so take us away to the video.
Erickson. Takeoff and landing competitions are simple. We have the pilots here competing in separate classes to get the lowest score possible. As you see behind me, we have the start-finish line, so let's start with the takeoff. This runway is marked with a start-finish line, and as a competitor parks their main gear on the line, they apply power and position their aircraft to get off the ground as soon as possible. Once their main gear leaves the ground, a line judge will mark their takeoff score using the measuring line along the side. This score will be added to the pilot's landing score on this heat. The landing is in two parts. It's either over the line and counted, or if the pilot's main gear touches down before the line, or even touches the line, this heat score is scratched and results on a landing disqualification, and the pilot will have to rely on another takeoff and landing score to get them on the podium. A quick look at our aircraft shows we have two types of landing gear: tricycle and tail draggers. On the tail dragger aircraft, the score is marked from the two main wheels toward the front of the airplane. And for tricycle landing gear, the score is marked by the two main gear in the rear of the aircraft. It's a fierce competition out here, but at the end of the day, it's all about building better and safer pilots in the skies. It's a great day for STOL competitions. Let's get it started.
A great day for STOL competitions. It is, Cam. We got a great day ahead of us. We coming up first with the Wilgas. The Wilgas. I love to see the Wilgas coming up today, powered by DOF Reality, the best full ocean simulator you could get for flight simulation. And in the Microsoft Flight Simulator today, we have coming up in the Oregon eSTOL, or the Oregon Trail eSTOL, presented by Parallel 42 and DOF Reality. Cam, can you take us away to the people we see on our screen here? Who is coming up first?
Yeah. Actually, we have race number 94, Brown Dog, in the 1984 Wilga ADP. Next, we have race number 12, Mark Hawking, sorry, in the 1978 Wilga. Got 24, Fish Foo, in a 2024 brand new Wilga ADP. And 92, Trey Chavez, in a 1969 Wilga ADP.
Well, I'll be darned. It's good to see Fish Foo. Everybody else too. I mean, those guys have always been here, but Fish Foo, I think this is his first competition. So, big shout out to Fish Foo for coming in. He's one of the guys that hangs out in the streaming world over on Twitch. So really cool to see Fish Foo in here, and shout out to his community and him. And we have a green flag. So here goes the races, guys. We're going to be seeing everybody trying their best to take off as short as they can and land as short as they can. And this is where short is better. We want to see the shortest possible takeoff and landings here. And we're going to take it away. They're actually going to taxi down the runway and show off their planes a little bit. So Brown Dog I think Brown Dog is flying out of Kentucky. So as you know, this is virtual, so they're flying out of Oregon, but they're actually at their homes on their home flight simulators. And so Brown Dog is in Kentucky. He has I think he's got a few wins under his belt. I think 3 wins, 3 first places under his belt, and a few second places as well. So Brown Dog is coming in hot. He is a very great competitor. Coming up next down the runway is Mark Hawkins, flying out of the UK, better known as England. Some people might still call it Great Britain, but nonetheless, Mark Hawkins, number 123 in the Wilga. With very great
nice
looking aircraft.
Yeah, it's got the Ferrari livery on it. Pretty big fan of that. That red is very striking. Even though it's pretty dark, it's still very cool.
I wish I had a Ferrari. That'd be really nice to have a Ferrari.
The garage, heck yeah.
A lot of people in the Burstix TV chat. Hey, everybody in the Burstix TV chat. We got Death Crow, as usual, Racing Agent, Recon Fox, Grim Games Live, Bawetta, and Foxtrot saying Merry Christmas to the Burstix TV chat and everybody at National eSTOL. Fish Foo. So he's rocking a regular livery. I always love that name, Fish Foo. I don't know where the D went, but that's okay. We got the Fish Foo. Crunk Monkey coming up in the Burstix TV chat. Hello, Crunk Monkey. And so Fish Foo's first competition today. It'll be interesting to see if he's gonna kick a lot of STOL butt around here or not. I don't know. I haven't seen him. I know he bush flies. He had a bush flight around the world on his stream. They were flying around the world in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll see if he is if those skills that he got from flying around the world, bush flying around the world, have transferred over to the STOL field. I think they will. Trey Chavez, number 92. Coming in last in the Wilga. I think that's our last competitor today. So we're going to see these 4 guys going up head to head. And I think it's interesting to see everybody fly the same aircraft, because then you really get a chance to see what their skill level is. If everybody's flying the same aircraft, there's no difference in the aircraft. So then the only difference you're going to see is their skill. I do love to see, obviously different aircraft and things like that, but when the Wilga is so dominant, it's hard to get anybody to fly another aircraft, to be honest with you.
It's such a good looking aircraft,
it's
too.
It's such a dominant aircraft in its class that you're not going to see a lot of other aircraft in this class because nothing touches it,
And here we go with Brown Dog.
So we do have the green flag. Brown Dog is coming up. Cam, who do you got on this competition? Are you going to go with Brown Dog? He's the winningest. I think him and Mark Hawkins are the 2 winningest. Or are we going to go with Brown Dog, or are we going to go with an underdog?
Man, I mean, Brown Dog is so dominant in this competition. He does well, but For some reason, something tells me Fish Food is going to do something special for us today in his Wilga or in their Wilga.
Okay.
So
Okay, I like it. I like it. He does have
I'm
the
going
he
for
does
Fish
have the
Food.
skill of, he flew around the world, and I think he was flying the double ender also from Got Friends. By the way, the Wilga made by Got Friends, and big shout out to Got Friends. They've been a huge part in my streaming life, and they've been a huge part in my Microsoft Flight Simulator world. So huge shout out to Got Friends for making us a lot of the beautiful aircrafts that we'll see today flying around.
Yeah, it was good to see that whole team at the FS Expo last year or this year. It's almost end of the year, almost into the
Yes.
next year. But yeah, I
FS
had a good
Expo
time
was
with
so
them.
much fun. I want to go again. I wasn't really expecting it to be as great as it was, but I'll tell you what, it was probably one of the coolest things I've done.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was super excited. And here we go with the green flag, brown dog on the line, Wilga class. Really the touring class, but it's
Yeah.
all Wilgas.
Yeah, and Brown Dog is just generally accepted as one of the best in the eSTOL world. And he really came out of nowhere. One day he was just hanging out in my stream, and boom, he started in. So great
Yeah.
takeoff from Brown Dog. Looked to be somewhere near 200 feet on the takeoff. We'll have to wait till the professionals that measure these things actually tell us what the real
Yeah,
footage was.
you're pretty spot on at 217 feet from Brown Dog.
270 ink in the Burstix TV chat. One of the boys over at Got Friends says, "Let's go Wilgas." All right, man. I love the Will. It's my favorite plane. I would say one of my favorite planes, but it is actually just my favorite plane, to be honest with you.
It has all the trademarks of being awesome. It's so ugly, it's cool.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I never thought it was ugly. And I know a lot of people do think it's ugly because of that, that circular front, the nose the way it is. But man, when I look at that
I mean, I'm
plane,
there
I
with you too.
just love it.
Yeah.
The skinny body. It's like you really think, even when you're slipping in a plane like that, it doesn't even seem like it would catch much wind because it's so skinny. But it really does perform very well.
That was
And
a 206-foot takeoff from Mark Hawkins.
206 from Mark, so little better, about 9 foot better than the initial takeoff we saw from Brown Dog. And then Fish Food with his first takeoff ever in eSTOL. If I'm wrong, and he has competed before, well, just forget that I ever said this. But his first takeoff ever in eSTOL, it looks like Fish Food had a really good one here, just over 200 feet.
Yep,
And
looks like
the
it's 270 ball.
That might be the shortest one. It looks like Trey has taken off.
Yeah.
It might even be under 200.
223 on that takeoff. So Mark is in the lead right now. As we have everyone coming around in the pattern.
223. So Fish Foods was 271. So not bad for his first ever takeoff. He's obviously being so new at this. He's a little bit behind in the pack. Everybody else is within, let's say 9 feet of each other. And Fish Food came out just above that, about 60 feet above, 60 feet beyond the rest of the pack. But that's great. That's great for his first run there. I like it. Just rocking the regular old livery too. Fish, and that's how you know too. He's probably as new as we think he is because he doesn't have his own livery made up yet and everything like that. But Fish Food, welcome into the eSTOL family because you'll have a livery in no time. Trust me. And our first landing coming in here,
right across the line,
landed in about 90 feet, 90, 80, 89 feet, 88. I'm gonna say 88. Isn't that someone's number? I swear someone's number in eSTOL is 88. It's got to be somebody's number.
I think we missed the first red line. That's You were really close though, 179. So it would have been pretty close if it was one
Oh,
over.
wow!
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't
even
even see
realize
it
that.
either.
Good catch on that. Good catch.
My red-green vision is coming into play right now.
Yes. Maybe I could be colorblind. I don't know.
Nah. You've done well this whole season. It's been good.
Brown Dog leading the pack. Coming in now is Mark Hawkins. I almost said Mark Stockings. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's almost time. They got the Christmas music in my head. Mark Stockings, everybody.
Oh, what's that? I couldn't tell from here that he touched the
Wow.
line. It's under review. We'll see what's going on.
Might have been a scratch. Might have been a scratch. You might have heard me talking about stockings in the cockpit there, and he was laughing so hard he couldn't concentrate.
It looks like it was called good, and so far as the shortest number.
All right, good.
Places him in the number one with that 146-foot landing. So combined total of 352.
And just listen to the sound. Listen to the sound on that Wilga. It sounds beautiful. Another thing that 270 does over at Got Friends is the sound, and he did the sound on this Wilga, and he did a great job on it. And Fish Food taxis off. First landing. Waiting on this score for Fish Food's first landing. Landing one was 310. Not bad. But it looks like he actually got a disqualified, so he may have scratched on that one. I didn't see it.
Okay. Yeah.
But he might have scratched on that one. But it does look like his first landing was considered a disqualification. Fish Food flying out of Colorado, USA. Trey Chavez coming in.
Big fan of that black and green, that flat green. Looks a little darker than olive drab, but it might be olive drab.
It's actually, I think it's actually just black and gray. This livery here.
That's gray. Okay.
Yes, I think it's
I need to
black
get
and
my,
gray. I could be wrong. I've been wrong once or twice.
Need to get my monitor calibrated then.
It's really good to see everybody in the Bursix TV chat and over on the YouTube. So I want to welcome everybody in that's coming out to see us today and hang out in the eSTOL. Who we voting for, guys? Who is going to win? Let's see it in the chats, guys. Who is going to take home the gold in the touring class today? I want everybody shouting their favorite pilot out. Don't forget to like and follow the chats in the streams, guys. Don't forget. You got to do the like on Facebook. Or excuse me, I think it is live on Facebook somewhere, or at least the video will be up later. But on the YouTube, you got to do the like, so we get to make sure everybody knows that we're out here today, guys. Every little bit helps. Appreciate you guys for coming out today and watching eSTOL. And we have taken off again for the second time. Brown Dog. It looks like he did take off on that second red line, which is going to be somewhere around just under 200 feet for the takeoff for Brown Dog. So he's besting his first score. I'm going to say like 189.
196. Looks like.
196. Cam said it. Cam said it best. 196. What is that on the back of Mark Hawkins' plane? Is that a duck? I think it's a duck.
I can't tell.
We got to get a close-up look of that. We got to get a close-up look at the tail of his plane one of these times and see what it is on there, because I've been wondering that for quite some time now. So Mark Hawkins with a good takeoff. 218 is not going to beat Brown Dog, but 218 it will. It will be at least competitive because he's already in first place. It looks like, Marcus by quite a bit is already in first place, but Brown Dog is setting himself up to, on his second run, take over. So we'll see what happens here if Brown Dog is going to actually take over on that. But Mark's second takeoff was not as good as his first one by about 8 feet. Second takeoff for Fish Foo, bringing himself up in his own numbers here by about 3 feet. So good on Fish Foo for bringing his numbers up about 3 feet.
Yeah.
And then Trey, we got Trey taking off in the black Wilga 208. So he's bettering his numbers as well.
208. It's the second shortest takeoff so far today in the Wilga. In all of
Yeah.
between all of these Wilgas.
Yes. Second by about 2 feet, Mark, with the 206. I love to see the birds flying by there. Yeah, what they've been able to do with the flight simulator is really amazing. It's actually, if you stop and think about it, it's really cool that we are able to recreate what they do in real life at National Stol. We're able to recreate it to a point where it almost looks real. Like, I will say, when I saw that the beaver start up at the beginning of this broadcast, I thought, oh wow, they have a real livery of the beaver that's in the flight sim. And then I realized it was actually just the beaver in the flight sim. So nice landing from Brown Dog. That's a hot landing. That is a 70-foot, 71-foot possibly, because his tire is his right tire is a little forward. 71 feet, I'm gonna say. 171.
171, yeah.
171.
Or at least
I missed
close.
that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, it is 171. Yeah, yep.
I missed that 100-foot. I must be missing one of the 100-foot red lines, like you're saying. And Mark Hawkins turning final. Coming in very nice, slow and controlled. Mark Hawkins knows what he's doing. He's been around since, oh gosh, the beginning of time here at National eSTOL. He actually, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Mark Hawkins does most of our graphics at eSTOL, and does a fine job. I swear, I love his graphics, man. They look so good. All the pilots, you know, they have the stickers from all the competitions that they do that you see on their liveries. All those come from Mark. So big shout out to Mark for doing everything he does for eSTOL. And that right there, my friends, that is the first 100-yard line, 100-foot mark. I mean. So it looks like he's stopping, and that's got to be 122, 122. Yeah, 122. Mark really besting that landing there, beating his own best landing by 120 or by 24 feet, and then just really, I mean, he's ahead of everybody. I don't think anybody can catch him on the landings. It's 50 feet or so. So Mark must have heard us talking about who was going to win and said, "No, that's going to be me. It's going to be me," says Mark.
We are in, so question in the chat is, where are we in Oregon? We are in Ontario, Oregon at or Kilo Oscar November Oscar at the
Kilo Oscar
Ontario.
November Oscar Kono. Now is that Ontario? Is that Ontario, bud, or is it like Ontario, Oregon?
Yeah, Ontario, Oregon.
Oh, I thought. Okay, so it's not Canadian. We're not in Canada.
No.
Okay, not Ontario, bud.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, we have a nose over from Trey Chavez. And that was a nose right over, folks. Don't worry, pilots are safe. Pilot is safe. Nothing happens to the pilots. I mean, unless they're in the, maybe if you're in the full motion simulator, possibly you might have had a little jarring there. But unfortunately, I don't think that, well, fortunately, I don't think Trey is in a full motion simulator for this one.
Yeah.
So if you crash, how the scoring works if you crash, okay? Basically, any run before your crash counts. So Trey will have a score here. So he will be in the running for a placement. But once you crash, or if you crash and you become disqualified because of a crash, then you're out for the rest of the competition, because your plane would essentially be totaled in real life. So you are not going to be able to compete for the rest of it. So Trey is unfortunately out for the rest of it. So now you're just going to see Brown Dog, Mark Hawkins, who's currently in the lead, and Fishfu, our brand new flyer today. That's all we're going to see for the rest of this. And it happens, guys. Sometimes when you're pushing that line a little too much, you will see a nose over here and there. And we don't like to see it, but it does happen every once in a while. We got to make sure that everybody's flying safe. Even though it is a flight simulator, we still like to keep the best safety and quality in mind.
All right, Brown Dog with a takeoff of 214 feet.
Iron Man 210 with a subscription on the Twitch stream. Appreciate your support, buddy. Thank you very much.
And 214 for Brown Dog. Not his shortest, but one of the shorter takeoffs for today. Mark Hawkins.
Johnny Chronic on
1 foot.
Ooh, you said Mark Hawkins with 201?
Yes.
Takeoff?
201.
Wow,
Yep,
that's better than
takeoff.
that's best so far. Very nice. Johnny Chronic on the Twitch stream says, good to see you, Dad. So if you guys don't know, I am a dad now. I do have a little son, and we named him Baron. So a little bit of aviation reference.
Awesome.
Great kid. He's healthy, doing good. Love him to death. So super cool being a dad for the first time. I've never been a dad until now, and I'll tell you what, people told me about it, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna love it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I will. And you can't, nobody could tell me or explain to me how cool it is. So very cool being a dad, way cooler than I thought it was going to be. And I thought it was going to be cool, but it's just way cooler than that. So great takeoff from Fish Foo. Fish Foo is, I gotta zoom out a little bit so I can see. So Fish Foo, again, bettering his takeoff. So by another 9 feet, bettering his takeoff. We love to see it. And his landings have gotten better each time as well. First one was a disqualification. Second one, he landed and took off in 268 and 269. And now his third takeoff, 259. So this should be the last run for the touring class. So far, Mark Hawkins leading the pack by quite a bit. Even though Brown Dog has the best takeoff so far, Mark Hawkins' landings are really what's keeping him in the lead so far. And both of his landings are better than, by quite a bit than anyone else. So we're gonna have to see. We need to see Brown Dog land here at least. I mean, this landing's gotta be at least below 120.
Ooh, yeah.
And he's over the 120 line to about 140 or maybe 160. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't do math very well, but I think it's 160. Yeah, 160 on the nose.
Yeah. He placed that
So
that energy directly into the ground. So, I mean, he did really well on that landing.
So Cam, he's at 374 total. And if I can add this together correctly, Mark Hawkins still is at 2030. So 330. So yeah, Mark Hawkins still in the lead. So I don't think anybody can beat Mark. I mean, unless, Fish Foo, if he landed in 60 feet, if Fish Foo can land in like 90 feet, he could still win this. But that would be, Mark, we're going to have to see what Mark does here. If Mark could land in 100 feet right here, he'd take it home for sure. And it's a scratch. There's no dispute there. That was definitely a scratch from Mark, but he says, I don't care. I'm going for it. I'm already in the lead. He knows it. He's smiling in his plane right now.
Yeah. Lucky dog.
He is lucky. You know what? It's not all luck, but he is a lucky guy in general. Fish Foo giving up a little bit on the landing, but still getting it down in a short amount of space there on the runway. Not too bad. 200 and I think it's 215 or so. So 227. Wow, so Fish Foo got better each and every run. We love to see it. Congrats to Fish Foo for getting better each and every run. He doesn't take home the win, but really impressive. And so best runs here. Cam, what do we got?
Yeah, we got in first place Mark Hawkins with a score combined best run of 340. Brown Dog in second place with a combined total of 367 feet. Trey Chavez, even though disqualified, his best run was 482, and Fish Foo following up in fourth place with a score of 537. Yeah, I'm proud of Fish Food. I'm glad that they came out and competed with us. I mean, for it starts with the first one, right? Like you have to put numbers on the board first. So, um, yeah, congrats to Fish Food.
So if we
Yeah. So
want to
while we
see what it
queue
would
up,
have looked like for Trey to land if he had a motion simulator, remember guys, it was powered by DOF Reality full motion simulators, some of the best priced full motion simulators. This is what it may have looked like when Trey nosed over there in the last round. That was at one of our previous competitions there, and this full motion simulator here is not a DOF Reality one. This is home built by Smitty, but as you can see, this is kind of what you get when you get into one of these full motion simulators, and I still am saving up for one. We're going to cut away to a DOF commercial, guys. Make sure you pay attention to this. Go check out DOF Reality. DOF Reality is one of the best, guys. Check them out here. There you have it, guys. DOF Reality. So if you saw the guy standing there in the video, the guy in the red shirt standing there smiling in the very last part of that video, he was the one who got me to try it at the very same event that you're seeing that video from at Flightsim Expo 2024. So I tried the F4, the F18, and man, it was amazing because even when you did like a loop or a barrel roll in the F15 or F18, it felt like you didn't actually flip over, obviously, but man, it felt like you did. I don't know how they do it, but they turn it just at the right time with the flight simulator. Man, it felt so real. So from that moment on, I said, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm saving up. And it looks like we have somebody doing some tricks out on the field there. It looks like they're using their thrust to keep the tail up. I guess that's considered kind of like a wheelie. I think that's Victor Vasser. So coming up, we have the Backcountry class, which is mostly the 170Bs. You will see Lily Yoshimi Flood in the 152, even though she knows probably not going to win. It's still one of those planes that people just love, so she's going to fly that plane. Whether or not it's going to win, usually we're going to see the 170Bs coming out on top. So coming up first, Byron Bowman, number 75, out of Kentucky, United States. We have Victor Vasser in the 170B as well, out of Skokszów, Poland. And then John Coughlin out of Wisconsin, USA, all in the 170Bs. And then last coming up, Lily Yoshimi Flood, number 30, in the Cessna 152 from Leicester, UK. in this class presented by Flight Sim Association. Don't forget, guys, make sure you get out to the Flight Sim Expo. It was one of the best experiences I've personally had, and we really appreciate those guys for bringing us out there. National eSTOL was at Flight Sim Association. We rolled the trailer right up into that venue, and Cam and I sat there together and casted that event. It was very cool to see everybody live in there. So Byron Bowman, 170B, beautiful looking plane. I know he did this livery by himself, and it looks really good. So he made this livery for the flight simulator with a couple little programs he used. And I'll tell you what, he was asking me about that black behind the tail number of his plane. I said, "Yep, go with it. I love it." And so he's gonna take off. Oh, and I think, okay, so he's not taking off for the competition yet. We are doing the drive-bys. Victor Wasser out of Skoksau, Poland. He made this livery as well. And you can see on the side there all the different ones that these guys have competed in. So these two guys have competed in a lot of them. And I think in this class, I think Victor has the most wins. I know Red Baron is up there as well. Red Baron has a couple of wins as well. And I'm not sure, actually. I'll have to consult the Oracle in the Sky, see if John Coughlin has any wins. I'm not sure if he does or not, but we'll see. So the cool thing about eSTOL is, I know it's hard for, the real life STOL for people to get from somewhere like Poland or Germany or the UK. It's hard to fly one of these little planes over the pond and, get into a STOL competition in the United States. But the cool thing is when you are doing eSTOL, it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you have a solid internet connection and a PC, or I guess even an Xbox, to be able to fly, you can join in the eSTOL competition. So no matter where you're at in the world, you can join us here at National eSTOL. If you want to be a part of it, it's really easy. Just go to nationalstol.com/chat, join the conversation there in the Discord, and you'll be able to join in eSTOL. And so if you're worried about, how do I get into it? What if I don't know all the rules, etc.? That's okay. We have trainings that are done by 80K. He does all of our trainings, and he does a great job with all of that. So, guys, everything is pretty much self-explanatory when you do the trainings and stuff like that. It's all walked right through with you and for you. So, join up, nationalstol.com/chat, and we have a green flag, folks. So, we're going to see Red Baron taking off in the 170B. Byron Bowman out of Kentucky.
All these aircraft look so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to even tell. Frozen Alaskan from the chat says, my motion sim is in process, so he must be making his... I wonder if he's making one or if he's having one made. Be interesting to know.
Yeah. They are not cheap endeavors by any means.
When you go through DOF Reality, though, they are definitely the best price. I mean, if you look at the price between like DOF and other ones, because I've priced them out on the internet, and there's some out there that are like 10, 15. I know that Smitty, who's not flying with us today, he's got some family stuff he's doing because of Christmas, but I know Smitty built his own and it was around 15 grand. So you are correct when you say that they're not cheap endeavors, but if you go through DOF Reality, you can get a really nice setup and I think they've got one for like $2,000. So when you
Race Command,
compare that to $10,000, $15,000, $2,000 is not too bad.
Race Command telling us that Victor is resetting, so that's what we're waiting on right now. Um, Also, coming from the chat, Mossline101 was asking if this was 2020 or 2024. We're watching 2020, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Austin?
Yes, this is 2020.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell because of the sceneries here. So we have, hand built custom sceneries that are made. So it's kind of hard to tell between the difference at a custom scenery. But if you were to see probably just the airport in general without our scenery on it, then you would probably know the difference. But yeah, it is 2020 so far. The reason that we're sticking on 2020 is because the broadcast, the setup, everything that we have is set up for 2020. So we're going to stay on 2020 for a while. And in general, I mean, if you were to poll all the flight simmers that are in my Discord, because I have roughly, I think, 1,000 people or so in my Discord for my Twitch stream, I would say there's probably half and half. I mean, a lot of people are staying on 2020 because their eye tracker doesn't work correctly, or they have crashing problems, or things aren't loading right for 2024. So in general, I mean, I think 2024 honestly is great. I think it's amazing when you see, I was watching Kando's stream the other night, and he was flying some backcountry as per usual in his stream, and it was just gorgeous. I mean, the trees, the landings, the beaches that he was landing on, the bars, the sandbars and stuff was amazing. Much better than 2020. But in general, though, I think a lot of people are still having trouble with 2024 enough to where they're saying, hey, we're going to stick on 2020. And we just really don't want to deal with all those troubles. And it's not so much just the troubles, but it's easier for us to stick on 2020, especially for some of the pilots as well. So we'll be here on 2020 for a little bit longer. And as long as we're at our sceneries, you probably won't even be able to tell the difference.
All right. And
because they are
Byron
beautifully
Bowman,
made.
Oh, yeah. They definitely look great.
And this particular scenery is free on Flightsim.to. Most of our sceneries are in the Flightsim store, so you can get them on 2024. I think you can even get them on 2020 still. So you could look in the stores there and purchase our sceneries. But this particular one is at no cost. You can get it for free on Flightsim.to. Just look up Oregon Trail eSTOL, and you'll find it on Flightsim.to.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
pretty
so Byron
cool.
Bowman.
I think Johnson's Farm is still on Flightsim.to, but I'm not 100% sure. But if you just search eSTOL on Flightsim.to, you'll be able to find everything that we have out there. There's a couple of them that are for free, and so you can get some practice. And our practice course, our training course, is free. We do have a free training course up on Flightsim.to, so we love to do free stuff for the community. It's it's about giving back. We have a lot of people that help us out, so we love to give back. And eSTOL and National Stol in general is a great organization, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So we do love to give back as much as we can, and so that's a little bit of a way that we give back to everybody.
Yeah, I'm on there right now. Looking at all the offerings. All right, so let's see what we have here for scoring. So Byron Bowman with a takeoff of 142, Victor Vosser with 118, John Coughlin with 113 or 131, and Lily Yoshimi with 412. So right now, looks like Victor is in the lead as Byron comes around the corner, around the bend, if you will, since we're on the Oregon Trail. We'll see those flaps come down. bringing it in nice and slow, like we like to see here. Crossing the line, dropping it in. And looks like just a little bit over 120. We'll see what that number is. 139 for Byron Bowman. So a combined total of 281. We'll see what everybody else is going to do for us. As Victor Vosser comes base final. I'm sorry, that was John Coughlin base final. Victor is already on final. Yeah, so we don't have any change with the weather here. We're still looking at winds calm, visibility 7 statute miles, overcast at 11,000 feet. So we got plenty of space for clouds. Temperature is 36 degrees with a dew point at 34 degrees. Altimeter is saying 3014. Humidity 93%. Oh, Victor Vosser giving us a little shake in here. Looks like he's just a little bit over 100 feet. We'll see what that comes out to. We're looking at a density altitude of, it's saying 1,002, but I'm pretty sure that's negative 1,002. So we should have some awesome performance. 114 feet on that landing for Victor with a combined total of 232. So that keeps him in the lead right now. John Coughlin just bringing it in. And John Coughlin for 162 on that landing, combined total of 293. And Lily Yoshimi is going to give us a go around. Just like in the real life competitions, we want to make sure that everyone's safe and all the pilots are making their, or actually not making, but they're using their great aeronautical decision making, some ADM. So Lily Yoshimi giving us a go around, which is good practice in real life for when you do need to have a go around, because maybe there's FOD on the runway, someone's on the runway, something's happening where the landing conditions aren't ideal.
I really like that blue and chrome livery that John has there. That's a really nice looking livery.
That plane has looked so good all season. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, I love all the liveries for the 170Bs. I mean, it's a great looking airplane, and no one has an ugly one out there. But John Coughlin's aircraft is very strong.
Yeah, and he's competed in a few. I think Stormbirds. I know John is a video game developer, and I think Stormbirds is his video game. So you can probably Google it and check it out. Yeah. I know it's like a turn-based flight sim. I've never tried it before, but it does look pretty cool. So you could check it out. I think it's like a Warbird-based video game, Stormbirds. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. I better check. Let me check. I'm gonna just do a quick Google search.
Lily Yoshimi bringing it in. A little bit of porpoising there, some pilot-induced oscillation. So put that landing out quite far. Getting the number in right now at 435. So combined total for 847. So right now, Victor Vosser is in the lead with...
oh, no. So Stormbirds is Flight Sim and News. That's what it is.
Oh,
well, I know he does
okay.
have... I know he does have some type of Flight Sim video game that he created, because they talked about it at Flight Sim Expo.
And Byron Bowman on the go. All right, yeah. So that looked like it was just a little bit over 100 feet on that takeoff. 138, a little bit over a little bit. As Victor Vosser brings up to the line with a nice tail stand, giving it enough power. Playing a balancing act right now.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around when it comes to flying in the flight sim. He knows his 170B very well.
Yeah.
Up go the flaps, and off goes Victor Vosser. Very nice takeoff from Victor. That might be the best one.
Yeah, 112. That's
Tell you,
a
when
great
Victor
number.
when he's on his game, he is typically going to be the best performer in this class.
Oh, pun
He knows a
fully
few
intended.
tricks, I'll tell you, and it took me a while to figure out like how is he doing this? How is he landing like this? And it was almost like, man, how is he doing this? But then I figured it out. I just spent a little one time in the 170B in the flight simulator, and I figured out his little secret to landing as short as he does. And so it's not so much of a secret anymore. I think all the 170B flyers have kind of figured out the maneuvers that they're doing in these planes in the flight sim to get these shorter landings in the 170B. But man, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me for quite some time.
Lily Oshimi in the 152.
Timing.
A video was playing on my phone, World War II video I was watching before before the I don't know if it came over on the thing, but I got
Oh,
a
yeah.
World War II video somehow just playing on my phone, probably from my Beats. I have my headphones, I probably bumped them, and so sorry about that if you guys heard some random video playing in the background. It was just me.
Let's see what Lily Oshimi did on that takeoff.
Ooh, we got 80K working hard over there at his desk. And I don't know who the other two guys, I think one of them is Anov probably, and maybe me. I don't know.
Yeah, one looks like Ryan for sure.
Oh, did they get all those guys in yet?
I know they got pictures of them at finals at Lone Star. I was
Yeah,
supposed
because
to
I
send my
think they were
pictures
supposed to get Lexi, Ryan. They were supposed to get a bunch of people. Ooh, scratch, Red Baron, tisk tisk, buddy. On that, we gotta have a scratch from Red Baron. We don't usually see it, but every once in a while you'll get a scratch. And you know what I like to think is if they're scratching, they're trying.
Yeah.
Because you gotta get a scratch every once in a while. If you don't scratch, you're playing it too safe. This game is called Scramble. John Coughlin's game is called Scramble, the one I was talking about earlier. So, and someone also asked in the chat if these are stock airplanes. Yeah, most of them are stock. I know with the 170B, there is a choice. They do have a choice between, because the plane comes from Flightsim.to. It is a free airplane, so you can pick that up on Flightsim.to. Sal 1-800 makes it. I know that with the package, it comes with two different engine choices. So I know our guys here and gals have a choice between either of the engine setups, but I think most of them are running the more high performance one. But I guess the answer is yes and no. Some of them are stock, but they all have to be stock with whatever comes with the package. So if the plane comes with a couple different engine types, then yes, it can be anything that comes with the plane, but no, they cannot be modified past that. And we do have ways of checking.
So looks like we got another go around from Lily Oshimi. John Coughlin just plopped it down for 114 landing, so that puts his new number. Let's see, at 235. So I mean, he's knocking on the door of Victor Vosser, but Victor is doing super well with that combined total of 219. So, man, these planes look great. They look just so good. We'll see what Lily Oshimi is going to put down for us in the 152. Oh, that is not Ryan, who we were looking at earlier. Okay, so we were looking at Anov. Oh, there we go. We got Anov on the left and Victor in the red shirt. And of course, 80K.
And it looks like if you're interested in that game, you can get it right on Steam. Scramble Battle of Britain is available on Steam. So check it out on Steam. It's not too bad, too. It's only 10% off right now, so $26.99. It's an early access game, and it's pretty interesting. I've never tried it. I will say I've never tried it. I don't have a lot of time as, being a new dad and everything. I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of video games, but I've heard that it is very cool.
All right.
So the shirt you see on the screen there, the one that Anov is wearing, is actually available in real life. You can get it on nationalstol.com. So if you're interested in a National eSTOL shirt, on the back it has all of the eSTOL competitions that we've done this year and that we will do. There's 2 more left, by the way. And so if you want this shirt, pick it right up on nationalstol.com, and it goes... it all helps out to support eSTOL. So we appreciate if you guys check that out. So we're actually going to switch this up a little bit. We're going to have Lily go first. Airboss has called it. Lily's going to go first because everybody else is so fast. Or Lily's so much faster than everybody else. So we're going to have her go first so she doesn't have to do another go-around. And then the 170Bs will follow.
All right. We'll see what Lily Yoshimi does for us. And here we go. Giving her the beans, as Ryan would say.
The beans. Gotta love the beans. Oh.
All right. Almost settling back down on the runway, but she did well keeping it above. So we'll see what her takeoff spot was at 248, looks like. It's going to be her best run.
So it looks like John has won before, actually. John won the Rocky Mountain STOL. So that's good to see. We have some veterans here flying today. I think everybody in this class is a veteran of eSTOL.
That's right. Yeah, that was John's first win.
It looks like the clouds are thickening up a little bit. It looks like we have about an 11,000-foot ceiling now. Winds are still calm.
We do have a weather update as of 8 minutes ago. So that is winds 260 out. Winds of 10 knots out of the 260. Weather is still mist, so it is hazy, misty out there. Temperature is still 30. Well, actually, it's 37 degrees. Dew point is 34 degrees. So
Victor Vosser with a 131, and thank you for that, Cam. Victor Vosser with a 131 takeoff, so not his best takeoff so far. Third takeoff is the longest takeoff. His best one was 112, and with a 107-foot landing to boot. So we'll see where he comes in with this next landing. It might not beat his best score. It would have to be a pretty short landing to beat it. I do want to tell you guys, the National STOL Discord is now up to... actually, it's now over 600 pilots, and these are real-life pilots and eSTOL pilots combined. So whether you're a real-life pilot or an eSTOL pilot, please feel free to join the National eSTOL Discord at nationalstol.com/chat. Join us in the conversation, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, National eSTOL Series, for updates and videos. We do have our own National eSTOL Series Facebook page, and so don't forget to follow those and all of our socials at National STOL and National eSTOL. Appreciate you guys coming in today, and we still have 2 more classes yet. 2 of our favorite classes. I'm not going to lie to you. One of my favorites is the unlimited one, but the Spec class has been a huge favorite for everybody. So the Spec class will be up next, and if you guys remember right, the Spec class, or if you're new here, the Spec class is where everybody flies the same plane. And so we pick a different one every competition. And what is the Spec plane this month? I'm not sure. The Beaver. All right. Ooh. So we have some Beaver coming on the show. The Spec class is going to be the Beaver. One of the the beaver is really like an Alaskan native. You know what I mean? I don't know where the beaver was made. I don't know. It just seems like if it had a home, it would be Alaska.
I think they are native to Canada, if I'm correct.
Canada.
With de Havilland
Oh,
being a Canadian.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
I remember one time on my stream we have we have a lot of people, just like in eSTOL, we have a lot of people from all over the world. And so one of the days on my stream we were doing a bush flight, and everybody wanted me to play their their national anthem song. So we had "Oh Canada" going. We had I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they're going to call that.
I mean,
we'll have to wait and see if they disqualify him for that landing or not. It was, but I don't know if it was stable. It's like in football. Did he have control of the ball or not? You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, we had all the different national anthems going. So we had I think we even had the Polish national anthem. We had the Canadian national anthem, the United States, and I was singing them all. It was pretty fun. It was a good time. So if you guys haven't got a chance to see my stream, I know I'm on a little bit of a hiatus right now because if you're wondering where I've been, yeah, I had a baby. So little Baron is his name, and my wife and I have been very busy taking care of him. But I'll be back streaming here on a regular schedule sometime in the near future. So don't forget to stop into the stream and hang out on a regular basis. We usually are streaming 4 days a week. And so right now I am, like I said, on a hiatus because of taking care of the baby, but we'll be back soon. So John on his shortest takeoff, we'll see what he can do for the landing, but he does not get past the line. Remember, you have to land over the line. You can't land on the line. You can't land before the line. You have to land over the line. So he's pushing it a little too hard here. He was excited about his shortest takeoff. And he does have a little bit of a letdown there too early. About 10 feet too early. And so that will not count. That will be considered a disqualification for that round. So John's shortest round is going to be still very short, 121 and 114. But it's not going to be the best. It's not going to be the best. No one is going to beat Victor Vasser so far. Unless...
Victor Vasser.
I'll tell you what. Red Baron... Has he already landed? Doesn't... He did. Oh, he did, and he scratched. I was going to say Red Baron's takeoff was 118. He had we missed... That was some really good suspense there that we missed, Cam. You know what, chat? You guys are just going to have to pretend that we caught that. And there was a lot of suspense. You guys loved it. It was great. No, but we did. I did miss that 118. Byron Bowman, but he scratched, so we did not see a win from Byron there. But I'll tell you what, Victor Vasser, John Coughlin, and Byron all pretty close. If Byron wouldn't have scratched on that last one, that would have been the cliffhanger. But anyway, we have Victor Vasser in first place here. Best run, 219 feet. John Coughlin coming in second place, 235 feet. And Red Baron and Lily Yoshini rounding out the pack, coming in at 281 and 652, respectively. So that's it for the backcountry class. We're going back to a commercial, guys. We'll see you guys just in a few seconds. Make sure to pay attention to DOF Reality, one of the best in the business, maybe the best in the business for full motion flight simulators. Check them out. They are a really great price compared to anybody else. DOF Reality, guys.
Sweet.
Man, that looks awesome. I
Yeah,
want to get
I
one so
mean,
bad. I need to figure out where I'm going to get a couple grand at.
yeah, just a couple.
Need to find a good
Oh, you're
bank
talking about
that's
for
close
the
to a highway. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, guys, just joking on that one. DHC Beaver, someone from my chat, but why don't let me know that it's de Havilland, Canada, DHC. Yeah, so it is from Canada, but I swear the home of the beaver really is Alaska. No offense to the Canadians, we're commandeering the beaver. Anyway, Cam, I heard that you got a chance to see a beaver in person at where was it at?
at Lone Star, the last competition. Chip Ferguson brought down his beaver from Alaska. That I can't remember if it usually spends its life on floats or not, but yeah, he brought it down for the competition at Lone Star, the National Stole Finals, and and pretty much killed it. I mean, like he was doing really, really well in that aircraft. It is so big in real life, and it sounds so amazing. I think my favorite part about that aircraft was every time it took off, it was producing vortices off the prop, so you could see the little
Oh,
spinny clouds around the cowling and around the backside of the aircraft. It was really cool.
that is cool. So how heavy is a beaver? And well, we get that information from somebody. Oregon Trail eSTOL presented by Got Friends, the Spec class. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram at National Stole. We have Cat Blue Flame rocking the Spec class. She's in the Beaver. This is all going to be the Beaver, by the way, guys. NorCali J in the Beaver, and John Coughlin in the Beaver. So John's the only one who's competed so far. Kat and NorCali are in the unlimited class, so they will compete again in the next class. But for now, three of us are three of the pilots in the Spec class competing in the Beaver. Now, NorCali, Kat, and John all have wins in their respective classes. NorCali and Kat go head to head all the time in the unlimited class. John is in the Bush class, or the Bush class. So we will see two people who are used to competing against each other, and then John competing against two people who are used to competing against each other. This should be a really close match. Kat, NorCali, and John are all very much practiced. They know what they're doing. So we're probably going to see a very close match here. So get ready for one of the best matches you're going to see today. The Spec class, one of the favorites. It's a crowd favorite, definitely. Everybody has loved it so far since we brought it in.
The answer to your question is 3,000 pounds empty weight.
3,000 pounds empty weight. So that's pretty heavy.
That's pretty heavy. That's
a lot heavier than any other aircraft I think you'll see in this competition.
Yeah, that's just about over two of my airplanes put together.
And what do you fly, itself. Cam?
A 90 horse Aranca Champ.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my father, or well, not my father, but I was going to say father-in-law, but my wife's grandfather, my grandfather-in-law, I guess, used to fly the cousin of the Aranca Champ, the one that spells aerobatic.
Oh,
backwards.
Yeah. That would be like
the Citabria
grandson. Yeah, the
grandson.
Yeah. Because technically, either grandson or son. I mean, it would be the next aircraft. It was Champ, Citabria, and then Decathlon. Race control notified us that there is a crosswind now, so that wind out of the 260 is now at 10 knots.
So it looks like we're going to switch runway directions because we do have a wind change like Cam just talked about. It's a crosswind, but it's going to be a little better for the pilots to go from the other runway. So we're going to be switching directions here.
Which is funny, right? Because this is eSTOL, so the switching of the runways is going to be as long as us speaking for a couple sentences essentially, and in real life it's a hefty undertaking. It takes a few minutes for us to do that in real life because we have to pick up all the markers and switch the ends of the runway, and all the judges are switching sides, and um, it's a nice little undertaking that we have to do. But
Everybody's
gives us
running
enough
around like
time to
chickens
talk
with their
about it.
heads cut off.
No, which is great because it could be a situation like that, right?
No,
but
National Stoll doesn't operate like that. Those guys are professionals.
yeah, yeah, really. Um, I would
I
say
did
it does.
participate in one of them, and it was cool. That was another one of those experiences. I will say, like, kind of me getting into the flight sim world. Like, I have a little bit of a background in flying. I've flown helicopter in the past in real life, but I haven't done it in a long time. But me getting into the flight sim world has resulted in a couple of the best experiences I've ever had in my lifetime, and one of them was going out to a National Stoll event, a real life National Stoll event. I got invited out to go and participate in setting up and tearing down, and also got to cast at that event. So it was very, very cool. If you guys take a second, go to nationalstoll.com and look at next year's list of competitions and find out where we little bobbling there going from cat. But yeah, she might. Yeah, I think she might be disqualified for that one. But if you get a
I didn't.
chance to go to nationalstoll.com, and check out the real life events and see if there's one near you. And if there's one even remotely close, within like 5 hours driving distance, get to one. It's going to be the best experience you've had.
So my champ brother in arms, Glenn Roberts, who also does the drone footage in real life for the
Oh
real life
yeah.
competitions. In real life competitions, he's messaging me. He's saying that he's been trying to say hello. He's trying to look for a place to say hi in the comments, but he couldn't figure it out. But he's saying hello online to us. So
Oh
um,
yeah. I met Glenn. I think we stayed in the Airbnb with Glenn, right?
yep. CW,
That
yep,
was
yep.
cool.
Or that's his call sign. Yeah. So hi
He's a
CW.
cool dude.
Yeah, he is really cool.
So we have
He
in
is.
the Burstix TV chat, we have Bawetta also mentioned that there's 15 different variants of the DHC2 Beaver. And he also mentioned the empty weight of the Beaver is about the same as the PC6 Turbo Porter,
Okay. Yeah.
which is a Swiss Pilatus.
Yep.
So that's pretty
Incredibly
cool.
rare bird these days. They didn't make a whole
Yeah, I don't
bunch of
I
them.
don't think I've ever seen one. I check I can't remember the name of the app, but it's on my phone, and every time a plane goes over, I look and see what plane it is. I don't think I've ever seen one on that app. Anybody know what that app's called? Someone in the chat knows.
Oh,
FlightAware,
yeah,
yeah,
flight radar.
FlightAware. The Oracle has spoken and mentioned that it is FlightAware. By the way, the Oracle is just Tom. Tom, let us know that it's FlightAware. Beautiful, beautiful weather. I don't know about you guys, but I like the fog. I think it's kind of fitting. It's a Christmas day in or I mean, it's almost Christmas Day in Oregon. It's almost Christmas Day everywhere, and I like the fog. I think it looks great here. Little overcast fog, long long landing. These guys, these guys in the Beaver. It's not something that we fly in the competitions very often. So you never know what you're going to see. I think the
Yeah.
problem there was just came in too fast. So you see, I think John noticed that the last pilot come in way too fast, and I think John says, "I'm going to slip it in."
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Man, look
That
how
looks
great
so
that looks.
formidable.
And this
Yeah,
is on the
right.
old flight sim too. This is on 2020, and it still just looks amazing.
Oh, get her stop. Get her stop. Oh. Okay. No
Yeah,
nose
there he
overs.
goes.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the first. What is that? The first score? Yeah, that's the first score because NorCali overran the runway. Cat Blue Flame disqualified. So Cat's going to be out the rest. I think Cat's out for the rest of it because she did scrape a wing. So she's going to have to be fixing that beaver. She will be in her normal plane, though, the unlimited class coming up next. But for the rest of the spec class, you're going to just see NorCali and John duking it out. So NorCali overran the runway 600 plus feet. It's not necessarily a disqualification, but it is not going to be hard to beat, and John has already beat it. So there we go. A little better of a takeoff from NorCali.
All right. Yeah. At 332, we'll get a nice little turnout on the crosswind.
I don't know if John got a little better of wind or what, but John's takeoff was over 100 feet. Actually, between this takeoff for NorCali and John's last takeoff, there's a 100-foot difference. John took off about 232. NorCali took off 332. So here goes John again. Still
It's going to be a
pretty
similar
darn good
takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the 200-foot range. 242, so 10 foot worse than his last one. Or 10 foot longer than his last one. I don't want to say worse, but
That's
now you're going to notice
wild.
they're taking a different pattern now because we did switch the runways.
Yep.
That tower looks great. I wonder if that tower is something that was placed here. I think that tower is part of the scenery.
Gotcha. This weather is making that scene look just awesome. Them coming through the haze.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've been so busy and stuff like that. I haven't had any time to fly in the flight simulator. It's because it's a big setup, when you're flying in the flight sim, you got to have everything set right up and got to have your throttle and your stick and your pedals and everything set up. And so I've had to move that stuff and I haven't had the time to set it back up, but I need to get back into the flight sim. And this is making me want to really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to join you all. I brought my Yaman and everything today.
Did you?
Yeah.
How's the Yaman? Maybe I need to get one of those.
It's good. It's good. I mean, exactly what it's way better than flying with an Xbox controller. Like,
yeah,
just having mixture control, like the wheel and having the push and pull switches on the controller is it's fantastic.
So NorCali, pretty good landing, 378, better than his first one, but still not better than John. It looks like John might be the most practiced in the Beaver.
Man, John's been killing it ever since we first saw him, or at least I first saw him at the FS Expo. I'm pretty sure, and I felt like that was his first competition. I might be wrong about that though.
It might have been.
Man.
Yeah, the Beaver's such a cool looking bird. If you ask me, it kind of reminds me of like a 70s, even though I think the Beaver's been around longer since the 70s, but to me it looks like a 70s muscle car. You know what I mean? Something like a Mustang or something. It just has that look to it. And the sound is just wonderful.
Oh, when Chip had his at National Soul Finals, like it sounded so good. Me and Ryan and I couldn't go very long without commenting about how good it sounded. And they were first manufactured or introduced in 1948, so it is a very, very classic design.
Yeah, I love the hum of that radial. It just sounds beautiful.
I'm jealous because I cannot hear the audio.
Yeah, I have the audio on. I have the audio on the stream, so it's hard because I hear myself twice, but it's worth it. Sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm talking or if I'm talking, but either way. Love the camera view there. Great job from our camera guys.
Yeah, camera views have been awesome.
Much appreciated from the camera guys. They really do a good job, and we've seen a lot of progress from the camera since the very first event. We have DeWert and Red Heron that offer their time up to do the cameras, and Vinny as well. So those guys really do a massive big help to the eSTOL competitions, and that's where you're seeing this beautiful camera view from. This is most likely Red Heron.
Yeah, shout outs to Vinny for being at the in real life competitions too. He operates cameras out there as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and if you guys ever get a chance, check out nationalstol.com. Make sure you get to one of the real life events. They are amazing.
Yeah, please come out, especially if you want to volunteer and operate a camera as well.
Yeah, if you want to volunteer at one of the events, you guys will definitely be accommodated. So get a hold of me, Verse 6 TV, get a hold of me on Discord, or get a hold of Tom, get a hold of somebody on the Discord, nationalstol.com/chat. If you want to volunteer at one of the real life events, you'll have the time of your life and be accommodated well. So join in. Just let one of us know and we'll get you guys hooked up. So Aggie Pilot from the Twitch says, when Chip Ferguson flew his Beaver at Lone Star, that was the first time it had ever been off a float since he's owned it. Wow. That's interesting.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I know Cam was talking about whether that plane lived on floats or not. Well, so yes. That's pretty cool if you think about how long that plane's probably been around. And since Chip has owned it, anyway, that's the first time it's been off of floats.
Yeah, I mean,
it's almost like the Beaver got to stretch his legs.
Yeah, he flew it down. I think this is his first time bringing it to Galveston because it lives in Alaska, but he flew it down to Galveston in the off season. So yeah, I don't even know if we knew that at the competition, honestly, that it was the first time that it had been off floats. I knew that there was mention of it being off of floats, but I didn't realize it was its very first time. That is pretty awesome.
So Aggie Pilot 02 says it's me, CW. I'm not sure who CW is, but
oh yeah, heck yeah, CW. Okay, yeah.
Well, good to meet you, CW. Thanks for coming in.
That's Glenn. That's Glenn Roberts.
Oh, that's Glenn. Okay, Glenn. Operator. Hey, what up, Glenn?
My champ brother in arms.
Another camera guy, man. One of the best camera guys, the drone pilot. I wonder what Chip I wonder what Glenn thinks of the drones over New Jersey, huh? Hey, John Coughlin with the win there, 546 feet on the best run. Great for a Beaver. And then Nor Kelly J not too far behind him, 603. And Kat, unfortunately, did not get a score. But still happy to see her competing in all of the Spec classes. She's a major part of eSTOL and making sure that we have all these active pilots. I know Kat does a lot to help out, so appreciate her and appreciate everybody that joins in and watches the eSTOL competitions. It's really good to have you guys here.
All right, looks like we're about to cut to a parallel 42.
Guys, we're going to go to a commercial, parallel 42, the maker of the Kit Fox for Flight Sim. So we'll see you guys here in a few seconds. Stick around. Coming up next is the Unlimited class, my favorite. See you guys in a few.
Hey, it's Trent. Fly low, don't die. wingman and joining the adventure. Now available in the Microsoft Flight Simulator Marketplace on PC and Xbox.
All right, and we're back.
That's a great plane right there.
Something
that Parallel 42 added into the Kitfox package. They added the Kitfox without the cowling. And a little extra, actually, I don't think it's any more power. I think it's a stage 2, but it just has less weight. The doors, minus the camping equipment and stuff in the back, minus the cowling. So a lot better performance out of this than the regular stage 2. So you see a lot of people flying this in the Unlimited. It's a very good contender. Some first place wins. Fly high or die. That is a new livery. I've not seen this livery yet. Looks like, not sure who that is. Maybe it's Luke Carrier? Nope, that's Sarah. Sarah Sazzle. Ooh, nice livery. Okay, so coming up in the Unlimited class, we have Luke Carrier flying the CH701. We have Norcali J flying the Savage Carbon. Luke's out of Ohio. Norcali's out of California. Cat Blue Flame flying the Zenith CH701. Out of Great Britain, we have Sarah Eggleton out of Wigan, UK, flying the Kitfox that you just saw there. Pete C. flying the Kitfox as well out of the United Kingdom. Wes Campbell flying the Kitfox out of Wiley, Texas. And Christopher flying the Savage Gravel out of Penn Argyl, Pennsylvania. That's a neat town. I've never heard of Penn Argyl, Pennsylvania. I have to fly there later in the simulator and see how it is. So the Kitfox is one of the great bush planes in the flight simulator. If you guys have not seen it, you can pick it up in the Flight Sim store, or you can pick it up from parallel42.com, and it really is the full package. It's got all kinds of liveries in there that they can fly with. It's got all kinds of, it's got, I think, 5 different variants now. So when you purchase that plane, it comes with a lot. And it is one of the top contenders here. The takeoff on it is just wild. I mean, you can almost take right off from the ground. You can almost just take right off without any, if you had a good wind, you could probably take off backwards in it.
Yeah, it's almost like real life.
So we are going to introduce everybody formally here. Luke Carrier in the CH701, longtime flyer in eSTOL. So Shay from the YouTube says, sorry, just joining. Where is this? This is Oregon Trail eSTOL. So this is in Ontario, Oregon. Not the Canadian Ontario, but the U.S. Ontario, Oregon.
At Kilo Oscar November Oscar at the airport. The Ontario Municipal Airport there.
Kono. So Fish Foo, yeah, shouting out in YouTube, let's go Norcali. So Norcali is an eSTOL ambassador. So if you want some information about eSTOL, you can check out his stream. I think it's Norcali on Twitch. So if you want to get some information about eSTOL, he does a great job getting people in and helping them out to start in the eSTOL competition. So please don't forget to check out Norcali. He does a lot for eSTOL. We appreciate him greatly. That's him right there flying that number 22 Savage Carbon. Savage Carbon brought to you by Got Friends. And remember today, the Oregon Trail eSTOL brought to you by DOF Reality, full motion flight simulators. I gotta get me one. Cat Blue Flame. There's all her competitions that she's done so far. Cat Blue Flame coming in the CH701.
Yeah, finally get to see some purple in the game. I've been waiting. I figured that the beaver would have been all done up in cat colors, but
yeah, I don't know. Cat didn't make a livery for it.
Yeah.
She usually does have a livery for any plane that she's flying, so she must be busy.
Holiday season for sure.
Talk about a livery though. That's a cool looking livery.
Yeah, that
I
is
love the
really cool.
the caution look on the flight control surfaces.
Yeah. That is really cool. Might have to take a little inspiration.
So we're gonna see. This is the first heat, so we're gonna see the first 3 go up head to head here, and then the second heat is gonna be the last 3. So for now, it's NorCali, Cat, and
Sarah, I believe.
Sarah. Yeah. Actually, this actually might be 4. I think.
Oh yeah, 4, and then the next 3 in the next heat.
Yeah. So this heat will be 4 people actually. Aggie Pilot says, "All right, E-." I'm not sure if that must be some kind of chat between Cam. Cam, do you know what that means?
No, that might be a typo. Or I didn't. I hadn't actually even seen it. Is it minus?
Yeah, E-.
Huh.
Ah, there we go. He says, "All right, eSTOL family, got to get back to work. Make that cheddar to pay for that avgas." Yeah, avgas is expensive, man.
Ooh. That was a very short
Aggie
takeoff. I
Pilot
don't
says
even
he
know
hit
how
enter
short that
too
was.
soon. I do that all the time. Almost every time I type, I hit enter too soon. I got fat fingers. Not saying that Aggie Pilot has fat fingers. I'm just saying I do. His reason for hitting enter too soon might be something else. Okay, so we did get a green flag while we were chatting there about Aggie Pilot. We do have some takeoffs going on here. So the first takeoff was Luke Carrier, 62-foot takeoff. NorCali J coming in with a second takeoff, 76-foot takeoff. Luke Carrier flying out of Waynesville, Ohio. NorCali J flying out of California, United States.
See what Cat Blue Flame is going to do for us on this takeoff.
So in the first heat, we have 2 Zenith CH701s. We have a Savage Carbon and a Kitfox Series 5 competition variant. Nice takeoff from Cat. Not a lot of wind here today, but still a good takeoff.
100 feet. 68 feet on that. Second shortest take. Let's see. We are going to go to the 4 flights real quick. Check out this this weather.
Got the wigwag lights going here on Sarah's Kitfox.
The weather has not updated for...
Looks to be about an 80-foot takeoff from Sarah.
Yeah, weather hasn't updated just yet, but I think the wind direction has changed on us. Either that or wind speed.
Man, the unlimited class is still going to be, you're still going to see some really good performance no matter what the wind is, because you got a combination of really light planes or really powerful planes, or sometimes both. So it doesn't really matter too much what the wind is, because with this class, you're just going to see, bananas takeoffs. I mean, they're just going to be short no matter what. It's kind of like in real life, even when you're out, even when you're at a high elevation. I mean, you see Steve Henry still taking off, and 20, 30, 40 feet. It's just sometimes the planes, they just have so much power that really doesn't matter what the wind is. And that's where your unlimited class is going to be, they're going to perform no matter what.
It really helps to have a turbo too, especially at those high elevations. But with us having a pretty low temperature out right now, the density altitude, like what the aircraft actually feels like it's flying at, is pretty low. So we're going to still have awesome performance out here.
What is the
All right,
altitude of
which
this
brings us-
airfield, by the way?
The altitude of Ontario is.
We're out in Ontario, Oregon, and it is KONO.
Elevation is 2,193 feet.
So
it's
not
pretty high
too
out there.
not too high
mean-
compared to
Rocky Mountain and
Pinedale. Yeah, Pinedale's like
Pinedale,
7,000 or something.
yeah, it was very high.
So the Savage Gravel is, compared to the Kit Fox, the Savage Gravel has, I don't know if it's going to have an advantage over the Kit Fox on landing. They're pretty similar on landing, depending on the pilot, obviously, but they're pretty similar on landing. But the takeoff, I think, if you factor in that the Savage Gravel has nitrous, you might see the Savage Gravel taking off shorter than the Kit Fox. But again, all that depends on what the pilot can do with the plane. And so that's where I really like the unlimited class, because even though you'll have a couple people flying a similar plane or the same plane like a CH-701, the pilot skill really, really comes into effect in the unlimited class. And I think some of these pilots are pretty wild about their planes. And, you know, Kat, as you can see, really trying, does end up tipping the wing. And that's probably going to be a disqualification.
Yeah,
I would have to say. Kat not having a good day. And, you know, Kat is known to push it. And so she's going to have to make a decision. Sarah did go around for the crash there. But, you know, Kat's going to have to think about it at the end of the day. Is pushing it like that really going to help her win? Because she was in points leadership at one point, and I don't know if she's going to be, because she's been having some of these, you know, where she pushes it so hard that she ends up, you know, tipping a wing or nosing over. And, you know, that's the thing you got to think about, it is pushing it that hard really going to be advantageous at the end of the day. But I don't know. Kat is, she's you know, she's a, what do you call that?
She's very determined.
Yes, determined. Yes, that's the word. Cam, thanks for picking that up for me. Yes, she's very determined. So I think you know, you'll see her in the next two competitions, and I think she will definitely have to think about that, though. Pushing it so hard can sometimes be a detriment. So Kat is in first place in season points, but now that she has disqualified for this competition in both of her runs with the Spec class and the Unlimited class, she's essentially going to drop to NorCali. If NorCali can put any points on the board, we're going to see a change in the leadership in the entire season points race. Kat still holding on. As long as NorCali can put any points on the board, though, NorCali is going to end up taking the first place in the season points for the Unlimited class.
So I was taking note of the video of coming in on final for everyone. And it looks like we got a direct crosswind at about 10 knots, somewhere between 9 and 12 knots. So these conditions are going to be challenging, and it might kind of have to deal with what we just saw with Kat's tipping over. I mean, the wind is coming out of the direction that was blowing towards her aircraft. So
yeah, I guess I never really thought about that, you know, but you know, Kat does push it pretty hard. But when you have a crosswind, that could definitely factor into why she tipped over like that. So coming in from race control number 69, Kat Blue Flame did disqualify for the wing touch / damage to the wing. So now you'll see Luke Carrier here tilt, you know, tilt his plane toward the wind, and because of the crosswind, he's going to try to take off in the direction of the crosswind so he can get a little better takeoff, and shows to be a pretty good takeoff from Luke. 59 foot so far. That's the shortest takeoff.
Ooh,
Beating his old takeoff
yeah.
by 3 feet.
Oh no!
And ooh, a little bit of crazy, crazy turn there.
It looked like NorCali got bit by some crosswind action in the tail wheel. Almost had a ground loop. It looked like, really. It looks like Sarah has a warning for not stopping in line with the runway.
Yeah, because we want to keep it safe, even though it's just the flight simulator. We still want to make sure that everybody's safe, because this is a direct correlation to what we do in real life with National STOL. It's very close. So if you guys have not ever been to a real life competition, nationalstol.com, check out where the competitions will be next year. This season is over, but next year their season starts, and all over again you're going to see all the pilots go around the country. So there's a place for everybody. There's competitions all over the country, so make sure to check out nationalstol.com, find out where the competitions are going to be, and get to one in real life, because I swear it will be one of the best times you've ever had.
Yeah, first one next year will be the first one that you were at last year, Swamp Stole in Louisiana, in Jennings, Louisiana.
Oh, so a little bit of a date change on that one?
Yeah, I think it's the second week of April, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, are they
Second
doing
weekend.
that because to try to get the weather under control because when they say swamp stole, we had a little bit of swamp going on over there. It was definitely the crawdads were coming out of the ground, and it was pretty swampy, but still interesting.
Yeah,
still a really good time.
It's traditionally definitely swampy, but I think more or less, I think the week before that is Sun and Fun. So probably catching everybody coming from Sun and Fun for that next weekend.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Try to get everybody that's flying out to these events to be able to have a little easier time coming from Sun and Fun to just hop over right to Louisiana. It's not too far.
Yeah.
So NorCali did DQ on his second run, but he didn't crash. So therefore his plane is still intact. He can do his third run. So while Cat is out for the rest of it because of the wing touch damage to the plane, NorCali's still in the running, and he does have a score on the board. So essentially, as long as he can get within the points, and I think out of the 7 people, he'd have to get I think 4th place still gets points. How far does Oh wow, all the way to 10th place. So yeah, so NorCali will end up taking the lead today because of Cat's disqualification.
Yeah. So for the season total standings between the two, between Cat and NorCali, she's at 135 and he's at 105. So as long as he can best 35 or 30 points, then he will be first.
So what place does he got to get 30 points?
That's a good question. Okay.
Oh, first place would be 25 points. So even if NorCali wins, they'll essentially be tied. So if NorCali wins, they'll have to tie. And then Luke Carrier is right behind those two in 3rd place. Luke Carrier with a 59-foot takeoff and 79-foot landing on his second run. About to take off for his third. Nice takeoff.
Yeah, he's using that wind to his advantage.
Yeah, and it really shows the skill of the pilot. When he's pointing his plane toward the wind like that, he's skilled. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, not so much of a direct crosswind at that point.
Yeah, and that is legal to do. I mean, we want them to be taking off at the best possible way, and the best possible way to take off is directly into the wind. You can't take off directly into it on a direct crosswind, because then you would be possibly going towards the crowd, and we don't want that. But definitely, as long as they stay within the bounds of the runway, they can take off into the wind and then correct their plane on, onto the runway path. Nice takeoff for NorCal EJ. Looks to be about 81 feet. Luke's takeoff was the best one so far, 42. And the very first one, the 42, the number 99 Zenith CH701. And now taking off, Sarah Eggleton, flying out of Great Britain, or Wigan, UK. 78-foot takeoff, so 3 foot better than the Savage Gravel. Like I said, the Kit Fox and the Savage Gravel are going to be pretty similar.
All right, looks like we got Luke on base final.
And we still have one more heat to go in the Unlimited class, so stick around for the last heat in the Unlimited class. We still have 3 more pilots. Pete C., Wes Campbell, and Christopher are going to be flying in the last part here. But for now, we'll pay attention to Luke's landing here. Luke had a 42-foot takeoff. That's the best takeoff so far. 42-foot coming in the slip. Really nice landing. He's over the line, gets a very short stop. Nice and controlled. Gives up about 10 feet, but still very short landing.
Yeah.
Probably going to be
60
about
feet.
80, 60 feet. 60 feet, like Cam said, 60 feet on the nose. And so 102-foot total. That's probably going to... I don't know. I don't know.
That's going
to be hard to beat. But he's using the wind to his advantage. He's in a very light plane. And so you'll see great performance out of that. NorCal coming in just over the line, not giving up much at all. And stopping right there on that 100-foot mark, maybe 101 foot.
Yeah.
So beating his last best landing by 48 feet, should be around 101, and it is 101. Total of 182. So NorCal and Luke are very close in the points, and it's possible that Luke, with the shortest landing there, Luke and NorCal are done. So if Luke takes first place and NorCal takes second, then Luke might actually be the second place points leader or tied with Cat.
Okay. And Sarah giving us a 40-foot landing.
Wow. 40-foot landing from Sarah. If all is well and there was no scratch, that's really good.
I mean, 118 combined for her. So as it stands, he too coming up. As it stands right now, Luke is in first place with NorCal in third place and Sarah in second place.
Yeah, Sarah kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting the Kit Fox to land in 40 feet, but damn, that was good. Let's see how much angle on landing is allowed. Cedric Pump on YouTube said how much angle in landing is allowed. Well, I mean, as long really we base it by control. So if the pilot has control of the plane and they're within the bounds of the runway, then they can really land, I would say, 45-degree angle. They could probably land. Anything past that may be considered not control, but at the end of the day, it's all to the ground boss is going to decide whether or not the pilot had control on landing. And if they roll out within the bounds of the runway, it's definitely would be considered controlled. So, the pilots will get a warning in eSTOL. So, sometimes we have brand new pilots and things like that. And we don't like to just, kind of disqualify everybody for every little thing. But the pilots will get a warning if it's their first time and, maybe they came in a little bit wonky. They will get a warning. But if they keep doing it over and over again, then they'll get disqualified. So it depends on the control of the airplane, etc. And that's all, based on what the ground boss says.
Yeah, same for in real life too. At the regular competitions, if they land and are pointing anywhere towards the judges or the crowd, as far as angles goes, then they do get a warning.
So we have Pete lining up. Pete, sponsored by Parallel 42. But anybody can join us, guys. National eSTOL is open to everyone. So no matter which country you're flying from, no matter where you're at, you can join us, nationalstol.com/chat, to get the information on how to join us. That's going to take you to the Discord. We now have more than 600 pilots in the Discord. So join and become one of our eSTOL or regular National STOL pilots in the Discord. There's room for everybody. So come on in and join us in one of our eSTOL competitions. Or if you want to volunteer or eSTOL or National STOL, join us. Get a hold of one of the people that run the Discord, one of the moderators, and we will definitely get you set up to help or fly, whatever you want to do. But welcome in. You're all welcome in to come into the Discord.
I'm liking the Red Fox, Red Bull rendition.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice livery.
Yeah.
I think that livery comes with the plane. I can't remember for sure though.
Okay, that's really cool.
But I know that plane. I mean, when you buy the Kitfox, I think it's like $25, and you get a lot with that plane. You get 5 different variations of the plane, including the one you're seeing here today, and then a ton of liveries. It's a really good plane. So Gas Can from the Twitch, another one of our friendly Twitch streamers, says it does come with that livery, and he loves the Kitfox. Another flight sim streamer and great friend of the stream. Gas Can, big shout out to you, buddy. And the Savage Gravel, beautiful maroon livery.
Race number 121. It's like Christopher.
This plane is one of the ones that it's one of the ones that started it all for a lot of the bush flyers, because this plane is available for free from gotfriends.com. So check out gotfriends.com. You can get that plane for free for the flight simulator. And we do have a green flag. So we're going to take off here. Number 88, Pete C, taking off in the Kitfox Series 5.
Oh, wow. What? Yeah, that was an awesome takeoff.
Very nice takeoff. Lot of power and low weight in that plane, Cam, and that's why we see the beautiful takeoff from Pete C there. One of the longest and first people to fly the unlimited version or the competition version of the Kitfox.
So we get some similar performance out of Wes Campbell. All right, yeah. That is a souped-up, awesome airplane. We're definitely going to see some sub-100 numbers off that. So Pete C with 59 feet on that takeoff, and Wes Campbell with 48 feet on that takeoff. What we just saw. And 07 Savage Gravel on the go. 81 feet. So all of these numbers are sub 100, which is rightfully so for the unlimited class. And we're going to pan out to find Pete C on base. Yeah, shout outs to Cedric Pump in the chat. Love the Red Fox as well. Yes, sir. Get it, Chris, from Frozen Alaska in the chat. All right, Pete C making that base final turn with barely any aileron input. showing us that pilot stuff. And giving us a good crab show into the wind for our direct crosswind here at Ontario Municipal. Live weather coming in from the actual field in real life in Ontario, Oregon. Here we go, Pete C. All right, plops it in. Looks like he stopped about 40 feet. Maybe 45-ish feet. We'll see.
Yeah. Probably that right tire. Got to go
All right,
around
45
coming back
feet.
behind.
And we got to go around. Which puts Christopher in position for putting some numbers on the board while we wait for Wes Campbell to get back into position. All right, you can see Christopher's nursing. Oh, that looks like a scratch from my end. We'll see what race control says, and that's a scratch. We can see him working hard, nursing the throttle. Maybe the wind gave out from under him on that last little bit. So now we're back with Wes Campbell on final, grabbing into the wind.
Now, Wes did the go around.
Yes. Oh,
Okay, that probably is going to be a scratch. Yep.
That looked
Scratch,
like a scratch
and
on-
probably
okay.
going to get a warning on that one. If that was his first warning, he will probably be allowed to do his next two runs.
Yeah.
So Pete C., Wes Campbell, and Christopher Canada going at it. I don't know if his last name is cut off and there's more to his last name, but Christopher Canada, that's how I pronounce Canada. Canada.
Yeah.
Spelled different, but that's how I pronounce it. So, Wes Campbell will be warned for not stopping in line with the runway. That's his first warning. So he's going to compete in the rest of the heats, or the rest of the rounds here.
All right, we got Pete C. pointing into the wind as much as possible.
I love the
Himself a little
wigwag
bit.
lights on there, going back and forth
Yeah.
between the two planes. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. All right. And here we go with Pete. Oh. Man, that happened so fast, it looked like it was sub 60. Okay, it was 51 feet.
Wow, 51 feet on the takeoff for Pete C.
Okay.
And that's close to Luke's. That's close to Luke's. So
Yeah.
we're seeing some 45-foot landings out of these Kit Foxes, sub 50-foot landings out of these Kit Foxes. So if Pete can land sub 50, he will probably end up beating that 102. No, he will. If Pete can land in 50 or less, he is going to beat the number one score by 1 foot or more.
And there's
So
another
let's
sub 60-foot takeoff.
Let's look at this. Let's look at it like this, right? Number one right now, Luke Carrier with 102 feet. If Pete can land in 50 feet or less with that takeoff there of 51 feet, he will take over first place.
Yeah, 54-foot takeoff from Wes Campbell.
Yeah, his current total is 111 or so, 114, I think. And so I mean, he's not too far behind. He's only 12 feet behind number one, but let's see if Pete can do it. If he can land 50 feet or less, he's going to take home the first place today with the Kit Fox. And Pete is one of the longest flying the newest Kit Fox variant. So if anyone can do it, he can do it.
It's a 78-foot takeoff from Christopher.
Twisted Cigarette
Savage
in
crap.
the Twitch chat talking about the wind, the crosswind being brutal. Yes, it is brutal to have to fly in a crosswind. I know it's not as hard to land in these smaller planes as it is if you were in something like a 737 or even a 787, but still not the best to fly in. These STOL pilots, they do like a good headwind, but it does throw a little bit of interesting twist in there when you got the crosswind. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate everybody that stopped in to the stream today. That may be a warning, but I think it's still going to count, and that's definitely under 50 feet. So we may have a new leader here, guys. Unless somehow that doesn't get counted, I think even if it's a warning, it still gets counted, and I don't think Pete has a warning yet. So as long as Pete doesn't have a warning, we'll have to see if it's going to count, and it counts. It counts. Looks like it's going to count, guys. 51 foot though, so that's a tie. So we have a tie. Wow. That's going to be interesting. I wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah. Well, Wes Campbell just had a very hairy landing.
Did he really? Gonna need trim, huh?
Yeah, for yeah, for sure.
Gonna have to shave his landing. Too hairy. Another landing. This crosswind is brutal, guys. Twisted Cigarette was right. This crosswind is brutal.
Yeah, in all cases,
So in the event of a tie, we just got confirmed from race control, it is a head-to-head match. So we're going to see head-to-head Luke Carrier and Pete C going up against each other. Unless Pete can beat, if Pete can beat his last landing and take off, then maybe he'll take first place. But if not, then we're going to see a head-to-head landing coming up here. So this takeoff right here from Pete is going to decide whether or not we're going to see a head-to-head match from Pete and Luke. Well, I guess not just this one, because you still have two other pilots that could essentially take first place. So that takeoff looked to be about 58 feet, 62 feet. So we're going to have to see sub 40 landing here for that not to be a tie. Sub 40 landing from Pete, which means he's going to be pushing it, which means he could get another warning and it not count. So this is very, very interesting. This is one of the best unlimited matches I've seen. And this is like, I'm sitting on the edge of my chair right now.
Yeah, it's going to produce some good numbers for sure.
I'm not going to have any fingernails left after this one.
That's 66 feet takeoff from Wes Campbell.
Wes Campbell, 66-foot takeoff, says Cam. Nice takeoff from Wes Campbell. I think Chris is a new flyer with us. I don't know that I've seen Chris Canada.
I definitely have not seen that name, so I'm agree with you. Excellent takeoff. I'm at 78 feet. Very consistent.
So, guys, even though today's eSTOL competition is almost at its end, we still have some really, really good competition left, and we're about to find out if we're going to have a head-to-head match, which it looks like we might. It looks like we're going to have a head-to-head match after the unlimited class because Luke and Pete are tied. But don't worry, next competition is coming up soon. January 25th, we have Music City eSTOL, which, as you know, is in Tennessee. So the Music City eSTOL is going to be the next eSTOL competition. So even though today's is coming sometime soon to a close, we still have a lot of action today, and maybe we'll see an unlimited class head-to-head between Pete and Luke. But don't worry, Music City eSTOL is coming up January 25th. Mark your calendars, because that's going to be the next hot competition for eSTOL.
Man, this drone footage is awesome.
Okay.
All right, Pete.
And it's not going to be sub 40. So we are going to see a head-to-head match between Pete and Luke. Unless somebody else can. Yeah, but it'd be pretty hard. I mean, Wes would have to do like sub 30. Chris would have to do like sub 20 on landing. So I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to see between Luke and Pete, we're going to see a head-to-head match here. Now the head-to-head match.
Ooh.
And that will be the second warning, so that probably will result in a disqualification for that particular round from Wes Campbell. But still, good flying out of Wes Campbell. Really good numbers. He did have 3 disqualifications, so that's okay though. He's gonna have to just practice up a little bit for the next one, but still really good flying.
Ooh, and a scratch from Christopher.
Yeah, and like we said, Cam, it's got to be something to do with the crosswind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It makes it tough. It makes it real tough in these planes. All right, so we're not going to take any break. We're going right to the head-to-head, guys. Luke's on his way over. So Pete and Luke are going to go head-to-head. And this should be just... is this going to be just one round, Cam? Do we know if the head-to-head... We haven't had a head-to-head yet. Okay, so...
Unless it's one round, unless they both scratch, and then they go head-to-head again. I'll tell you what, it's pretty awesome that these dynamics with the weather and the physics of the game are working hand in hand, because the aircraft are wanting to turn tail first, essentially. That tail is weather vaning, essentially, so that is really behaving like how it should.
Yeah, it's very similar. The flight sim in real life are very similar when it comes to even something like temperature, weather, wind in general, or weather in general, the wind. I mean, everything is just very, very close to what it is in real life. And so the weather is all taken from real life data, and it's live time. So when you see these guys flying, the cloud coverage, the wind direction, the wind speed, everything. The barometer, everything is going to be the same as what it is in real life at this particular point or spot in the world. So right now we're in Ontario, Canada, excuse me. I've been wanting to say that all day, haven't I? We're in Ontario, Oregon in the United States, not in Ontario, Bud, aka Canada. But yeah, so all the weather's going to be the same. And so Pete, tuning into the wind, got his plane tuned right up. And he's going to try to really, really get as much as he can out of this Kip Fox here. Beautiful Rotax engine on the Kip Fox. Beautifully done by Parallel 42.
Yeah, they nailed it. (915 IS).
Gorgeous looking plane.
Yeah. I think we're just waiting on Luke to come back to us, huh?
I just noticed Ken put in the chat he has fat finger, but he spelled it P-H-A-T. So he's got fat fingers too. Looks like Luke's rolling down now. He must have had to hit the bathroom quick. So I did see a comment from the YouTube, but it disappeared a little too fast. If we can get race control to put that comment back up. It says, it must be demoralizing in the first competition to have a crosswind like that. Keep going, says Cedric Pump. I know, right? If it's your first competition and you have a crosswind like this, don't get discouraged, guys. There are going to be headwinds coming up. I'm sure there'll be a headwind at Music City STOL. I can't guarantee it, but I can say hopefully there will be. And here you have it, guys. The Unlimited, both coming in their respective heats. 2 different heats at 102. We have a takeoff from Pete C. Really nice takeoff. 60. Cam says 100. 69.
Oh, no, 69. Okay. Yep, my mistake.
69. So in this head-to-head, they don't have to beat their previous scores. They just have to they just have to do their best here. And whoever wins takes home the gold. Second place will go to the loser.
That looked pretty short.
Yeah, that might be a little.
Oh, okay. 72. I mean,
72, okay.
Yeah, the difference of 4 feet or 3 feet. So, I mean, a 5-foot difference is completely possible with this. I mean, it's not over.
Yeah, both of these planes I've seen land, really short. I mean, 40 feet, 30 feet, even in some cases with a good headwind. Of course, we don't have a good headwind today. We have a crosswind. So it's all riding on the landing here, guys. With a 3-foot difference on the takeoff, Luke coming in at 72-foot takeoff for the Unlimited class, head-to-head from the tie of 102 feet from the heat. There's only a 3-foot difference. Pete took off in 69. Luke took off in 72. So it's all riding on the landing here, and Pete's going to be the first one to come in. So Luke is going to be able to visually from the sky judge how long it took Pete to land, and then he's going to have a little bit of information on here. But Pete does have the honor of coming in first and setting the bar.
Oh.
So setting the bar, coming in on one wheel, it was still, the wing touched. The wing did touch. So that's going to be damage to the plane, pushing it a little too hard. I think it's going to be considered a disqualification. And so all Luke has to do here is just land the damn plane.
Yeah.
As they say.
Man.
So Luke, I mean, really, Luke could just, land and take the whole runway if he wanted to.
Exactly, yeah.
So we're not going to leave you with a cliffhanger here, guys. I think we know Luke can land the plane, but the thing is, though, does Luke know? Because this is all in real time here. Luke might not even know. Actually, that's probably true. Luke probably doesn't even know that Pete's wing touched. Oh, and he does. He lands it perfectly, right. No scratch, very close, not giving up anything. He's going to stop in 41 feet. So Luke Carrier is going to take home the win in the Unlimited class, head-to-head here from the tie in the regular heat. Wow. What a competition, guys. The Unlimited class always gives us the best show here. So, guys, wanted volunteers for National eSTOL. Can you help? Contact ADK at nationaleSTOL@gmail.com. If you want to help, join in the fun. So we have scores here on the board. And it looks like just waiting for the scores to update, but Luke should be here in first place from the Unlimited head-to-head. But for the regular heat, though, Pete C. and Luke Carrier with a 102-foot best run. Sarah Eggleton with a 118-foot. Christopher with a 158. Nor Kelly J with a 182. And everybody else has disqualified. So everybody who qualified for this one, the Unlimited, those are the scores there. And then it looks like in the head-to-head, Luke did take home the win with a very short landing to boot. And guys, so that was our competition today. Thanks everybody for joining in to the Ontario, Oregon eSTOL. Coming up next, guys, January 25th, the live stream Saturday, January 25th, Music City, USA, brought to you by National STOL It's the Music City eSTOL on Microsoft Flight Simulator, brought to you by DOF Reality and National Stol. YouTube, on the Twitch. Come on, guys. The 25th, January 25th. Come check us out. We'll see you guys on the next one. Cam, it was great broadcasting with you today.
Yep. As always, sir. It was awesome. Can't wait for the next one. Music City Stole, January 25th.
Yep. Hey, thanks, guys, for joining. We'll see you guys soon. Join the Discord, nationalstol.com/chat. We love you. We'll see you at the next one. Peace.
Peace.